Hey y'all, this is David, the Georgia photographer, and today I'm going to actually clean this lens and I'm going to get it installed on this adapter, and then I'm going to put it on the Leica CL and take some pictures with it and see what the picture quality looks like. Let's do this. Before I get into the whole cleaning it part, because I'm going to rearrange the camera for that, I want to go over some of the specs about this lens. It's really heavy. There's a lot of glass, and apparently there's some steel in construction, I guess, because it's very heavy for a lens of this size. There's aluminum parts on it. It's all metal construction, so it's got, like, you can see that's a polished aluminum barrel, and this is aluminum, but maybe it's all glass on the inside is what makes it so heavy, but it's heavy. It has a distance scale built in, just like pretty much any of these lenses do. Its minimum focus distance, let me zoom it out, is just a touch under 2 feet. So it's probably about 22 inches, maybe something like that. 21, 22 inches from the looks of things. It has, the F scale is a tiny little scale right here. And I'm assuming because they didn't want to bother reproducing it twice, so they just use it where the little, a lot of those cameras of that period had an extra little lens that looked down onto the aperture scale, so you could actually read the aperture while you were looking through the viewfinder. I'm assuming that's why the aperture is this tiny number in this little window here, and it goes from f1.4 to f16 in one stop increments all the way through. Yeah, it's full stops, no half stop steps. It's got the plunger button for the auto aperture control stuff, you know, like a Yashica camera. But other than that, it's all good to go. Okay, I have the lens here now, and I've got me some Q-tips, and I've got me a microfiber cloth, and what I want to do is I just want to clean the whole outside of the lens really good because it's just dingy. So we're going to start with the back. There's the manual auto switch for auto aperture control, see? We normally run it in manual. You can tell it was left at about 7 feet of focus because down here it's actually still crisp colored numbers, but you go to about 7 and it's dingy. I bet it sat right there for the whole time it was stored. Now, man, that's just nasty. Okay. Now that I've washed it and got all the grunge off of it from years of sitting on a shelf, it's actually smoother here now. Good. Alright, we have an adapter that I have picked up. It's a Photocy M42 to Leica L mount. Put that on. Now, we mount this on the camera. And as you can see, none of the information is turned right side up. Well, these adapters, we move all this junk out of the way now. M42 mounts are screw mount, as you saw. Well, to get a screw mount adapter to be in time with your camera, since it's not a M42 mount camera, you have these little Allen bolts right here. They go around the perimeter. You loosen these just a little bit. There should be 3 of them. There'll be one on this side. Yep, there it is. And then you rotate and index the lens till it's top dead center, and you tighten them back down. And now your aperture's on top, and so is your focus. Alright, well, let's go take some pictures with it, see what it looks like. F1.4 wide open. This is a shot of Jericho just to show how low the contrast is wide open. And then this is with Teresa backlit by the sun. You can see those spots. Here's a tree front lit at distance at f1.4. And then of course this is to show the bokeh. The bokeh's beautiful actually.
Then I moved to f4, and then I took a distant photo of the mailbox, and then one close up as well to show basically the resolution. The lens has got great resolution. I mean, look at this leaf. Look how awesome the resolution is for this leaf. And then, of course, I was trying to capture kind of color with it. And these are all straight out of camera JPEGs, unedited. This is a spider web with dew on it. Then this is a forest, with some fog in it. Okay, and then here's another photo. This is the straight out of camera JPEG. And then I decided I'd edit the raw file and bring some of the color out. And there's a lot there. Then I moved to f8. In f8, all of the errors kind of went away. The images just look really good. I think I got this one just slightly out of focus, but it looked good in camera. And then, of course, I tried to get some shadow noise or whatever and get some stuff in focus. Then I moved to f16 to check sun stars. I shot straight into the sun. Man, check out that lens flare. Hexagonal lens flare is awesome. And then I shot through some branches of the trees to try and get some sun stars out of it. And it even, look at that blue lens flare. Isn't that interesting? And then finally, I just took a distant pano, I was just at the house. So that photo there shows just the hillside next to the house, and you can just kind of get an idea for, it's still slightly lower contrast, but as you saw in the photo where I done the edit, you can bring it back real easy. This lens is probably a pretty good little video lens, just to tell you the truth, because it pulls the contrast down and allows you to do your edit and post.
After going out and shooting with it, the lens has got a real nostalgic look to it. Shooting it wide open, it's kind of soft or low contrast, that's the right word. And if you shoot into the sun, the flare is incredible. It basically blows out the image to white almost. So it only works pretty good in the shade at wide open. It does have good background blur though, real good background blur. So if you've got controlled environment conditions, it actually produces pretty good results for that. But as you stop it down, like to f4, it cleans right up. It actually is a pretty nice lens. It's kind of heavy, and I've got the Pentax. This is a SMC Pentax Asahi 50mm f1.4, and you can see how much smaller it is. It's also focuses closer, but I bet it ain't as cheap. So this lens is kind of neat. If you're into vintage glass, the Yashica glass isn't bad. It's still got some dingy on it. I don't know if it's got some haze internally or something, but you can kind of see it in the photos, like in where it's got this weird kind of effect going. It's weird. If I can get it to show up in the photos, I'll put some up. But yeah, it's a cool little lens. It was kind of neat to play with, figure it out. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe. It's right down there. All right. And I'd like a thumbs up if you like the video. And until next time, get your camera out and go take a picture with it, all right? We'll see you later. Bye-bye.